It got really bad. And in about, it must have been about 2014, they switched any Oxy addict knows when this happened, but I don't know when it was, but it was somewhere around that time. They switched to the OP, which put this sticky substance, so I couldn't break down the pills anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when I made the switch to heroin. It was going to happen eventually, and that's when it happened. Like at first, I was just snorting it. I'd mix it with some powder and snort it. And eventually, it wasn't enough. So my buddy, shot me up for the first time, and that was probably in around 2014.
Stung the frog, and they both died. And on the way down, the frog goes, "What the hell's your problem?" And the trench says, "Sorry, that's who I am, bro. I couldn't fucking help myself."
And you can't help yourself from answering yourself.
Yeah, I just can't help when I hear someone talking. I'm like, "Okay, let's go, let's talk. Okay, what do you want to talk about?"
I like how you tied that together. That was good.
Yeah. It was far, but I brought him in.
No, you did. Yeah, you really did.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about it.
It was a good story. It was a good story. Anyways, you've never heard the story?
I've heard the story.
You have?
Yeah.
Did I butcher it?
Yeah, somebody told it way better. My uncle, maybe.
Probably.
Who knows? Damn, I forgot my wedding ring.
No.
That is so weird. It feels so weird.
Should you have even said that?
What?
Should you
now
have
it's
even
out
said
there.
that?
Yeah. Now we know.
Now we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
No, it just feels weird to not have my wedding ring.
Plus,
on.
you fling it, and I don't hear. I'm not hearing it.
I always hit it on the table.
Yeah.
Not hearing the click, and then you click it on here too. Click, 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 click.
Do I do that?
Yeah, you do. Click, 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 click.
And then you can just hear it.
Funny.
Yeah. Yeah, just like that. Just do it. Yeah, there you go. I'll close my eyes. I'll think it's Chad.
What, did you get a tungsten ring?
So funny story about that. I actually did. Bailey bought me one when, obviously right before we got married. And then about 2 weeks in, we were swimming in San Clemente. And my hands, like I told you, when I get cold, like my hands shrink. So I went in the water and came out and it was gone.
Wow.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Good thing you didn't lose your balls.
Right.
No, I mean,
wait a second. You did. Wait a second. You did.
Actually, I mean, the tungsten rings are dangerous.
Yeah, they're heavy and real heavy.
Yeah, I have a tungsten ring. I actually wear it my cheaper, less expensive ring because the tungsten is so heavy.
Yeah,
it hurts my finger after a while.
Yeah. It's like weightlifting for your finger. You know,
the other
and you
part
also have
too
one
is,
huge finger.
Let's say that you accidentally break or sprain your finger.
They can't get it
right.
out. They can't cut it.
They can't cut tungsten.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They actually have to cut your finger off, take the ring off, and then re-sew your finger back on.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
they could just like maybe de-glove one of your fingers or something.
Ooh.
You know?
Debone it or de-skin it.
That's what it is, de-glove. Yeah,
just kind of pull it right off.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing, yeah.
And then they can put the skin back on and then just sew the...
I don't know if they would put the skin back on, but people do this on accident to get degloved. And it's
skinning.
Do not look it up on the internet.
Don't skin.
Okay.
That's skinning.
Yeah.
When
it's
I
terrible.
was living in
people that work with machinery, those are just.
And a German and the Russian mafia used to skin their enemies in Europe. When I was living up there, there was always a sign. There was always the body, skin body.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Where at? In Canada?
No, up in Europe, bro. Eastern Europe.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
It doesn't sound like a Canadian thing to do.
No,
those people are really nice.
He's Canadian.
You're Canadian.
Yeah.
Canadians are very polite, nice people. Yeah.
Unless we're hunting.
Hunting, yeah. You guys don't even. Do you guys hunt?
I don't.
Oh, you
I just thought I'd throw it in there because it sounded cool.
They do.
It
We do hunt.
They do bear hunting, right?
Yeah. Bear
hunting,
geese or goose or whatever you want to call it.
Well, it depends on if you're hunting one or multiple.
More, yeah. I mean, that's how you know he's Canadian. They say stupid shit like that.
Yeah. So, Sam, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Nice.
I'm really I'm happy to be here.
Feel nervous at all?
No. Damn. No.
Too bad.
Michelangelo, are we live? Okay, we're live.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, good.
All right.
Sweet.
That's our intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, not nervous.
No.
Feeling good.
I was a little nervous.
Today?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, you were?
I don't know.
Was it me?
No, it's just, because first I was thinking, who's this guy? Because in the podcast, it just says Bailey's husband. I'm like, fuck, who is that? Is it our Bailey? Is it someone else's Bailey? So that's what I was thinking about all weekend. I didn't want to ask. I just figured I'll just roll with it. You could have
just texted me.
Right. I just figured, why bother you?
Yeah.
You wanted the mystery.
I did.
Yeah. I get that.
When I put it in, I was drawing a blank on your name, but I needed to get it out so I didn't forget to put it out.
Yeah. It's all good. I don't remember anybody's name.
And I never changed it. But your name is Sam.
My name is Sam. Yeah.
I have a memorial story I want to share.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm driving home yesterday, and I'm turning left at a 4-way stop sign, and there was an electronic wheelchair right in the middle of the road. It looked brand new. It was like aluminum and really nice material. Like these real expensive cars are made out of. What's the Lamborghini's made out of? Fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, a really nice one. So I
carbon
saw
fiber.
Carbon fiber. It was made out of carbon fiber. So shit, $4 or $5 easy.
Yeah.
I see some car with the roof up, so I speed after the car. I'm honking. Lady pulls over. 5 minutes down the road. Anyways, I get her. It's her wheelchair. So we drive back. The wheelchair's now on the side of the road. Someone put it on the grass. She can't lift it. It can't fit in her trunk properly. That's why it fell out to begin with. So now I'm putting this wheelchair. Good thing I'm working out,
Yeah.
I got the wheel. So anyways, it's a veteran, 90-year-old veteran in the passenger side. He couldn't move. He's pretty well disabled.
Yeah.
So that was my story. So I picked up the wheelchair, put it in my car, and I drove it to their home.
That's a nice
service
memorial
day. That was what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're aligned, buddy.
That's what I felt aligned.
Yeah.
Yesterday. I felt
because it was directly related to the holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a way of
you did
giving.
your part.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Service is important. It's important. Yeah.
And you could never say no to service.
No.
Yeah.
No, which is why I'm happy to be here today, actually. Nobody's asked me to do anything in recovery for a while. So I'm really excited to be here and talk about it. You know?
Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up? Where did it begin?
So I grew up in Marin County, in the north. You guys familiar with Marin?
My wife's name. I'm very familiar with Marin. That's my wife. Marin.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So I'm from Santa Fe, California.
You didn't get it.
His wife's name is Marin.
Oh, I didn't get that.
That's
because I didn't know your. I didn't know
Marin.
your. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So your wife's name is Marin or Marin?
Marin.
Marin.
Yeah.
He's
like
from
like
Marin.
the country singer.
Yeah.
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 Marin.
And he's from
I don't know what her name is.
Marin County.
Yeah.
Marin.
Northern California.
Northern California.
Yeah. I've been living down in Southern California since right after I got sober, so it's been about 7 years.
Nice.
But yeah, I grew up in Marin. Super nice place to grow up. Really beautiful. It's got redwoods, hiking. It's right by San Francisco, obviously. So a lot of tech billionaires and CEOs and everything live in Marin. It's really a beautiful place to grow up. Very middle class growing up for sure. I wasn't wanting for anything in particular. Had everything I wanted. I mean, this is one of the things I struggle with when it comes to my recovery, because when I got into recovery, most people that I met had reasons, right? Reasons for what they did, the way they treated people, what they did to themselves and their self-destructive habits. So when I got sober, I'm like, I don't have any of that, because I had a really good fucking upbringing. My parents were great. I mean, my parents got divorced at an early age, but like other than that, I wasn't abused. No one put their hands on me they shouldn't have. I didn't have a reason, and it kind of made me feel a little guilty, I guess, in a way, just because everybody else had a reason and I really didn't. I grew up. I went to Santa Fe High, played a bunch of sports growing up. Always got good grades. Had a 4.0 in high school, and just no real reason. I think the main thing is I just needed to fit in. I spent a lot of time alone as a kid, I guess, because my parents were divorced. I lived on a sailboat when I was growing up, actually, from the time I was born till I was 6, which was quite an experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's not normal.
No.
So, I mean, when you say to us first, you had a normal, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
How big was the sailboat?
46 feet, 46-foot schooner.
Yeah.
Oh.
I probably got that wrong, and my dad, if he heard this, would definitely chew me out.
Like, for sure.
Is your dad? Are you gonna send it to your dad when it comes out?
Oh yeah, he'll listen.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he'll be stoked.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, when my parents got divorced, my dad stayed on the boat, and so I lived there until I was 6.
Yeah.
Until we went to dry land, and but spent equal time with both of them. My dad's Bill, my mom's Mary, and spent equal time with both of them. And, you know, really, I had a great childhood.
Only child?
No, I have a sister.
Sister?
Yeah, she's older, 4 years older. So she is 39. Yeah. And by the time that I was 6 and she was 10, the boat was starting to feel pretty small. Right. For sure. That's the one problem about it. Like, you literally have no privacy. Yeah. Every detail of your life, everybody who's in that boat knows every detail. Yeah. Right. You know, everything that happens with your, every time you go to the bathroom, every time you know, everybody knows everything about you.
Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter's going to the bathroom.
It's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I can't imagine being on there with like a teenage girl. Right. Because believe me, when my sister was a teenager, like, I could not have been within like a 20-foot radius of her. Yeah. Without her saying like, I fucking hate you and slamming a door in my face or something. But that's what girls do, you know.
Yeah, it is.
So me and my sister used to fight a lot. Now we couldn't be any closer, you know, which is cool. But I guess the one thing that I can point to is growing up, I spent a lot of time alone, whether it was on the boat or walking around. I guess when I got to middle school, I desperately wanted connection. And I think that I didn't know how to connect with people without substance. That's what it became in my life. So I started using, the first time that I got drunk or high, it was cough syrup. Oh. And I was 10. I was 10 years old.
Yeah. NyQuil?
Fuck, I can't remember.
Oh no, wait,
I don't even know if that was around back then, to be honest.
Oh no, NyQuil's been around since I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
I can remember the commercial in my head.
Robitussin or something
will help you get your Z's. Yeah. Do you remember that, Shane?
Fuck yeah, I love NyQuil in the day.
Yeah. I mean, they used to put a lot of alcohol in it. I don't think it's like that anymore. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I mean, for a 10-year-old, like it fucked me up pretty good. You know what I mean? Drink a whole bottle of that.
You go robo-tripping, bro.
Yeah, well, I felt like I was like hallucinating.
On Robitussin.
It was cool.
Yeah.
But it just, that first time when I was with my buddy and we drank a bottle each.
Wow, that's a lot.
It was a lot, yeah, for sure. And I instantly, like, we had something cool to talk about. I don't know, like we just had an experience between us that we remembered and we could talk about. And I was like, man, this is great, you know. This is what I've been looking for. So
closer to the mic. Flip that thing over, brother.
Yeah. So where was I going with that? So yeah, that was when I was 10. When I was 11, started smoking weed, and again, that opened up like a whole new group of friends and a whole new world for me, it was so cool. I remember the first time I got stoned, I saw Spider-Man, because Spider-Man had just come out. So that was 2002, I think, or something like that. I don't know. But then I went back home after and ate everything, all the food in my dad's house. And so it was just, the point is, like, it gave me something to really connect with people on. That's what I realized that's what I've been looking for my whole kind of childhood. By the time I got to high school, it was one thing after the other, you know, from the weed to, it was Coke after that when I was like 13. And then it was ecstasy. That was the big movement in where I'm from in Marin County. There was this rapper named Mac Dre. Yeah. And he died in like 2005, and he was just like this like saint for some reason in Northern California. I mean, this guy was like huge. And there was this whole movement based around, and it was the hyphy movement, and it had to do with ecstasy. Yeah. You remember. Yeah. All right. Well, I was a big part of that, you know, like every party I went to, like there were parties of like the entire party, and everybody was on ecstasy, and it was wild. And it was, and talk about connection. Like that was it for me. And I knew that I wanted to use for the rest of my life, you know, and that's sad to say, but like, you know, the reality is that drugs and alcohol work really well, or else so many people wouldn't be addicted to them. Right. They work really well until you get to a point where they don't. And that point happens quickly. And it's not going to tell you it's coming. And hopefully you realize it in time before you do something really bad to yourself. But at the beginning, it works really well. And that's why.
They all work really well for a little while.
Yeah.
Like my story about the weed, like it's so similar to yours. I think I was a tad bit older, but maybe like 12, and I smoked weed for the first time, and I was cracking up and had the time of my life. And then we went in and we raided the
cupboards,
the cupboards, and like ate everything in sight.
Yeah,
bags of chips, and
it's great, man.
Mama Celeste pizza.
Hell yeah.
You know what's funny? I used to say, I got nothing to do tonight, but I got a gram of weed. I'm good.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
I could smoke some weed, watch a movie, eat. I'd be fine.
Yeah, there's always a progression, though.
Always.
You know?
Yeah.
Not for everybody, but for people like us.
For people like us, there are. Yeah. The story's the same regardless.
Because I have many friends that I have friends that were part of my first time smoking weed.
Yeah.
They're still just smoking weed.
They're just normal.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they smoke weed anymore. I have no idea, but I haven't seen them. But they never had a problem.
Right. Yeah.
There was never a progression of drugs.
Yeah.
Or alcohol.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works and how people are so different. I can't really explain it. And nobody can, or else like we wouldn't, be so afflicted with addiction.
Right.
Yeah, there was for sure like the progression for me. I remember back when I started smoking, then it was one thing after the other, but I was like, oh, I obviously don't have an addictive personality because I wasn't smoking every day. When I started doing coke, it wasn't every day. It wasn't something that I needed to wake up or anything like that. So I was like, oh, I don't have an addictive personality.
Yeah.
And that was until I was 16, and I was in my car. I remember I was with a buddy of mine. I was in my car, and he pulled out some pill, and I was like, I didn't really know what it was, and he told me what it was, and it was Oxycontin, and I had never heard of it before, because this was back in, I guess 2004, 2005, something like that.
Yeah.
So that was back before Oxy really was in the news a lot. At least I wasn't exposed to it, so I had no idea what it was.
Right.
But he gave it to me, and he put on a CD in my car, and we snorted it, and I didn't feel anything actually the first time that I used that. But the second time was a couple weeks later, and that was like one of the best days that I'd ever had. I felt instantly calm, and that was it, and that was the feeling that I'd been searching for sure for my entire life. And that was how my journey with opiates began. And from the time I was 16 till 28, just went hard. I mean, like pretty much every day during that time, except the times that I traveled abroad, which I'll get into a little later for sure. But, in high school, I was doing Oxy every day, playing sports, getting good grades. I was in calculus. What that enabled me to do was that since I was doing everything that a high school guy should, I had, girls, I had sports, football, basketball, whatever it may be. I was getting good grades. It allowed me to come up with, a different persona, I guess. And to be like, if anyone ever asked me anything, if my parents asked me, I'd be like, well, what else am I supposed to do? I'm doing everything that I need to do right now. So by the time I got done with high school, I was severely physically addicted. And I needed it to get up in the morning. And then went to UC Davis up north. I ended up studying winemaking because I had I like to drink. I like to get fucked up. And so that's what I decided to study.
Winemaking.
Yeah, it's actually the best school in the world for it.
Wow.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called viticulture and enology.
Yeah.
And UC Davis is the best in the world for it. So that's what I studied. And which was awesome. I mean, yeah, most people have that reaction when I tell them that they don't even know what that is.
You went to UC Davis out from high school?
Directly out of high school, yeah.
See, that's hard to do too, to go to a UC school, huh?
You're an Aggie.
Directly out of high school?
Yeah.
Nerds. You were probably just going up there for weed, though.
No, see, you know what? I got accepted to Humboldt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you should go to Humboldt and get a part-time
Yeah.
job at the Grove.
Yeah.
UC Davis, Humboldt, very similar, I feel like, Maybe not academically, but as far as everything else goes, for sure. So yeah, it's UC Davis, and that was probably that was a mistake in my life that I made. I think that was way too close to home because the entire time I was at UC Davis, I was probably back in Marin half the time when I was supposed to be in class, and I would I probably went to 30% of my classes at Davis. And I had like a 2.0 my first semester. I got that up to a 3.0 eventually by the time I graduated, which I don't know how the fuck I graduated, to be honest with you. I never went to class, but I have a good brain. Like, I didn't really need to do that much studying. And it kind of goes back to the way that I was able to hide what I was actually doing with what I was able to achieve in different areas of life. But who knows what I could have accomplished without drugs.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's I didn't have that. I was the opposite, man. Drugs just like, I didn't go to school.
Yeah.
As soon as I found my drug of choice, it was like, fuck school.
Yeah.
I mean, I went, but I ditched a lot. I quit sports immediately. I didn't have time.
When you were in high school or college?
High school.
High school.
Yeah, I got addicted to crystal meth at 13.
At 13?
Yeah, first line I ever did. I became an everyday user.
Yeah.
And it just progressed from snorting it to smoking it
Yeah.
through high school. And then after high school, it got worse.
We got different personalities then, you and I.
Yeah.
Because I tried meth once and I was like, this is the worst. This is the worst thing to do.
People who like opiates do not like meth.
No, and I actually didn't mean to do it, believe it or not.
Really?
No, this fucking guy. We were doing coke and he was like, he like brought me into the bathroom and he's like, hey, I got a line for you. And he put it down and I did it and I was like, that was not coke, dude. And he's like, yeah, that wasn't coke. I was like, you're a piece of shit.
Rude.
Yeah.
That's so. Didn't that happen to you too?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. By accident, someone lined it up and I took it and never knew.
He told him it was coke.
Yeah.
And
I mean, what kind
my
of
nose
person?
going down my eye, my right eye was like,
it feels like your eye's gonna pop out of its socket.
What the fuck, man? You know,
I was not happy and I didn't sleep for like 2 days, I think. So I was like, and I like sleep. That's why I did opiates. What I mean?
But here's the thing. Anyone could go back and say, what if I didn't do this? What if I didn't do that? I mean, that's the what if game. No one wins on that game.
No, you're right.
Nobody. Because maybe you couldn't have survived those 7 years without the opiates. Maybe suicide would have been involved. Maybe some other angry person would have come out. That's what got you through, and that's what got you here today.
Yeah.
You know? You're
100% right on that, for sure. I think, and I tell people now, it's like, with the life I have now, if somebody was to ask me if I regretted what I did, no, I didn't regret it. I had a great fucking time. Which is bad to say, but like, that's the way that I really view it. And I want to be honest on here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way that I view it. I had a great time and it worked really well. And I felt really good until that one day, as I said, that I realized that it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And that what I had going on was not sustainable. And that I was going to have to make a choice.
Yeah.
So no, I don't regret it.
No, I don't regret it either. I wouldn't be the man that I am today.
Yeah.
I look back and I'm like, I don't think I would be as good of a human being as I am had I not experienced all of that pain, discomfort, misery, pleasure, insanity, hard times, all of it.
It's perspective. Mm-hmm. It gives you a different perspective on anything that you have going forward.
I wouldn't change it, but my fear these days is that I don't want another person to die from fentanyl.
Yeah.
And I'm always so afraid of somebody dying from fentanyl. I mean, there is no pleasure in it. There is pleasure in it in the beginning, but you cross that once you cross that pain and that threshold into pain, it's always pain.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Like even me, I had a relapse after having 10 years clean.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And there was about 5 minutes of pleasure.
Yeah.
And then my misery was refunded to me tenfold.
Yeah. Well, at least that happened, I guess,
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing overall.
Yeah. I mean, it just showed me that I had more work that I needed to do on myself. And at the end of the day, I don't take that. I don't regret that either.
Yeah.
Because that has pushed me into even being a better person and working more on myself on a daily basis.
Yeah. I admire that.
So, go on.
Yeah, where was I? I was in college. So the whole time I was at college, I was, again, not going to many classes, and I was going home probably every 2 days to re-up on oxys.
Yeah.
Because that's where my dealer was. And at Davis, it was, again, another version of Sam that, I introduced to the Davis crowd, and I was somebody different around my family, and I was somebody different around my group of, oxy heads and addicts that I was with in Marin, and I was yet another person when I was at Davis, I was trying to be studious and fit in with the the frat crowd, and so I could hang out with sorority girls and everything like that. So it's a very weird. I felt like I had 3 different existences.
Yeah.
So I was driving home every 2 days, reading up, and I would bring him back up, and that was until junior. I think junior, I kept getting strep for some reason. I was getting sick all the time, so I ended up going home and getting getting my tonsils out, and that was kind of a turning point in life, which sounds kind of trivial, but I took a semester off of school, and I got my tonsils out, and obviously, self-medicated with my oxys. And at that time, I had a job, but oxys were getting so expensive, and I started selling them because I didn't know another way to keep using. So, and I didn't want to make the switch to heroin, which, a bunch of my friends were doing, but I was like, oh, that's not me. I'm too, whatever the fuck I told myself, too classy for that, or too good of a guy. I'm in college, I'm not a heroin guy. I'm doing this designer drug, oxy. It's like,
it's not real.
No, not at all.
It's not real.
It's the same.
Leave
shit.
me alone here, bro. Leave me in my fantasy land.
It's the same damn thing.
Yeah. But this was the way that my mind operated back then. So I went home and I spent a semester at home, and again, couldn't afford my oxy anymore, so I started selling. And then my habit got up to, I think it was like 400 milligrams a day, which was 580s at that. Yeah, it sounds about right.
It's crazy.
400 milligrams a day, and I was selling enough that I should have made a huge profit, and I made no profit at all. I was just putting it all up my nose.
Yeah.
That's when my addiction got really, really bad. And that's kind of like the first time that in my mind I was like, okay, there's a real problem here, because I was so delusional that up until that point I didn't really think that there was a huge problem. But at that point it was like I couldn't hide from it anymore. Like, this is who I am. I'm an addict, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to maintain what I've got right now.
Right.
Super paranoid. But I did end up going back to school, and I finished school somehow. Met a girl my senior year. We ended up dating for like 4 or 5 years, and hid my addiction from her for the whole time. She wanted to get married, and she was such a good girl, and I was like, I hid it, and I was just, again, like another version of myself. I definitely wasn't ready to get married, but I didn't know how to tell her. So we broke up, which is for the best.
She never saw you on the nod.
She did, but I don't know. I mean, I think she was so innocent that she had no idea what the fuck. Yeah, I was just tired.
Yeah.
Or I was like, I was always sick. I always had allergies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like perpetual
Great
allergies.
Game. Great game.
Yeah.
Well, I'd manipulate people,
Yeah, of course,
like
man.
I would.
Anything for the oxy.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, whatever I had to do. Again, whatever I had to do to maintain what I had going on, I was going to do. After college, it got really, really bad. Started, mixing in some depression with whatever I had going on, and realizing that I wasn't really going anywhere. I had a job. I was working in the wine business. I worked in the wine business for about 8 years after school. And anyway, it got really bad. Must have been about 2014. They switched any oxy addict knows when this happened, but I don't know when it was, but it was somewhere around that time. They switched to the OP, which put this sticky substance, so I couldn't break down the pills anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when I made the switch to heroin. It was going to happen eventually, and that's when it happened. At first I was just snorting it. I'd mix it with some powder and snort it. And eventually, it wasn't enough. So my buddy, shot me up for the first time. And that was probably in, around 2014. And I told myself, like, because I always, of course, like anybody else, I always told myself that I'm not the needle guy.
Yeah. How'd you justify this one?
So I remember the first time I was like, okay, I don't want to. I remember the first time we were in my car. My buddy,
teach me how to do this. I'm not looking.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly what I did. Yeah.
Just do it quick.
I didn't look. I looked away, and I was like, well, as long as like I don't know how to do it, I'll be fine. Yeah. Of course, that lasts for what, 3 days. It's not that hard. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With all due respect to phlebotomists out there, like I can do that. It's not that hard. I'm not going to do it very effectively, but so that's what happened after about 3 days, and I was doing it myself, and that went on for about a year and a half, and I was not very good. I don't know what it is with my body, but like I blew through my arms and I was in my hands, and it was just like a blood. It was gross.
Wow.
It was terrible. And 2015, I always had this thought that if I could just like get out of my current situation and go travel, then that would kind of fix things.
Yeah.
So I went to New Zealand. I moved to New Zealand. I was there for about, I guess I was there for about 6 months or something, maybe 9 months. I don't know.
That's one of the biggest geographicals I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Like but you were just like, dude, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Those Aboriginals know how to drink.
One-way ticket. Yeah. They're Maoris over there, actually.
They like to drink.
Maoris, not Aboriginals.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all
they know
good.
how to drink.
Yeah, they get fucked up.
They get fucked up.
Have you been there?
Oh yeah.
You been there?
Yeah.
New Zealand is a fantastic place.
Shane's a world traveler.
Yeah.
What'd you do in New Zealand?
Just
Drank?
Australian. Yeah.
Cocaine. What
Honestly,
else?
got some pills and coke. Yeah, really. That's it.
Those are hard to get over there.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
no,
so
the pills were not. The pills were not. I
resourceful.
met a girl. That's why I thought it was Aboriginal, because she was what, Maori?
Maori, yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Got her right away the second we got off the plane. There she was
You did what you had to do.
with pills in her pocket.
Wow.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
That's really hard to get.
Every country I was at, I got wasted in. It never failed.
Shane's worldwide tour.
Yeah, it never failed. I always found an opiate. I found a guy. I found a girl.
A guy.
Well, not.
I mean,
That's another podcast there, Chaddick.
Is there
Chaddick.
something
If
that
you want to
we
get a
need-
hold of Chaddick on Instagram, that's 4 T's CHADICT.
Is there something that you need to tell us? Because there was that other podcast that we did where you got really embarrassed when you said that you that you had to go in the closet or come out of the closet.
Come into the closet?
Yeah, and you got all like, well,
I didn't mean that closet. I meant the other closet.
Are you sure?
No, nothing yet.
Are you sure?
I am pretty sure for her now. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard some stories, and I'm pretty.
I've come close. There's been some close. There's might have been a brush up once or twice, but nothing purposely.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll move back
let's
on
move on.
because
All
that's
right.
This could be a long time.
It'll
then.
be next. It
Yeah.
could be. Yeah. Okay.
Next
So you're in New
episode.
Zealand and
New Zealand. Yeah.
see how
months.
he just goes back to that. He's like, oh,
I didn't forget.
so-
This would be
This
going on
is-
the whole time.
well, what's weird is like I can like be like, what was I saying? He's like, I don't know. And then we put the spotlight on him,
Yeah.
and he totally remembers exactly where we were at.
Yeah.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New
Okay.
Zealand.
New
All right.
Zealand.
We're
It's
back to
impressive.
6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Zealand
golf
for
up
6
there?
months. Did I golf?
Did you golf?
No.
Great.
I
greens.
couldn't afford it.
Wow.
I am a golfer though.
Yeah.
But no, I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I went from being a heroin addict to New Zealand. So
Yeah,
I didn't
right.
have a whole lot of money. But I did go for work because I was working in the wine business. So I worked at a
Right.
winery there.
Nice.
Yeah. And also traveled around. And I guess I thought that, I only needed to change that one thing about myself. And then all my problems would go away.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just the heroin. That was, the symptom of my addiction. It wasn't anything else. I didn't have to change anything else about me. It was just that.
Yeah.
So I didn't focus on anything else. I just thought getting away would solve my problems. And I got there, and I actually met a girl too when I was in a hostel because we sleep like 12 people in a room, And she had pills. She's like, it was like fate. It was like a test from the universe that I failed miserably because we were in the same, we were in different bunks in the same room. And she just happened to tell me, of all the people she could have told, she happened to tell me, oh, I just had this surgery. And they gave me these pills, but they make me really sick. Like, do you want these?
Oh God, that's my girl right there.
And they were oxys. And I was like, you got to be shitting me. Like,
You're giving me
this
these
is
for
crazy.
free?
Crazy. I'm all the way across the world. I couldn't be any further away. And just by happenstance, this one girl offers me her oxys. And I was tested in about 2 seconds. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, bring them on.
Of course I do. What are you thinking?
Oh my God.
But I couldn't find it after that. It was just a small, prescription. And after I did those in a matter of 2 days, and they were gone, and I didn't do it again while I was over there. But I did drink, I did smoke, whatever else that I could get my hands on. I did, and I didn't work on anything about myself. So when I came back home, within, I think right after I got off the plane, I was with my dealer within an hour.
Yeah.
And I was right back at it. And that went on for another year. And then my life got really dark. I told you, there were times when, when I first started, that everything was working really well, and the drugs and alcohol were the solution to my problems. They were no longer the solution to my problems. Everything got really dark. I was living in this really weird old dude's house in Santa Maria. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Santa Maria. It's on the Central Coast. It's pretty miserable. I was working in a winery again, so I had a job, but I didn't have any friends, and so I was living at this guy's house in his room that he was renting out, and it was really dark. So my life at this point in 2016, I was spending the night at this weird house, going to work right after work. Most days I would, since I didn't have anybody down in Southern California, it was near Santa Barbara, was where Santa Maria is. So I would get off work at around 3 or something like that, and I would drive to downtown LA because I didn't have a dealer. So I would drive to downtown LA, to Skid Row and walk the block. If you don't know what walking the block, pretty much I just parked my car. I'd get out. I'd have some cash on me, and I'd look for somebody that could sell me some drugs, and I would buy it. Sometimes they were real, sometimes they weren't, but I was desperate, right? Eventually, I did meet somebody who ran this little corner store in Skid Row that I was going to consistently, but until then, I was just kind of meeting random people. So that was my life. I was working in Santa Maria. I'd drive down to LA, which literally took 4 hours, I think, with the traffic. I mean, because I was getting off at 3, battling the LA traffic just to get to Skid Row, so I get my shit and drive all the way back to Santa Maria and do it again the next day.
Wow.
I remember there was this one day, and by this point, I don't know how much I was doing, but I mean, my body was toast. I was. One of the things that really drove me to sobriety was by the time it was getting towards the end, I had gone through my arms and my legs and my feet, my hands, and I eventually ended up shooting up in my neck, and that went on for, I think it was probably like 3 months.
Wow.
And I'd have to look at myself in the mirror and to make sure that I didn't hit my carotid or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
I think it's carotid, right? Because then you can just bleed out. So I'd have to look at myself in the mirror and look at myself in the eyes while I was doing this. And that was one of the things that eventually, I didn't know it then, but eventually would drive me towards sobriety. But there was also this one day, I had driven down after, it was a Friday, I had driven down to Skid Row. I walked the block, looked for some dope, called my guy, waited for like 10 hours, could never find anything. So I drove all the way from Skid Row up back to San Francisco to meet my dealer up there that I had when I was in college. So Santa Maria, Skid Row, back up to LA, all the time withdrawing miserably, sweating, shaking, finally got my stuff up in San Francisco, drove back to Santa Maria around, it was probably 2 or 3 in the morning. And I was driving back, nodded out the wheel. On one side of the freeway was the ocean. On the other side, just the median. And I ended up going into the median. If I had gone the other way, I'd have been dead. Because I nodded out the wheel, woke up, I had done like 360s in my car and not a scratch on me. And I went home and I wasn't even thinking like, wow, you're lucky to be alive, or like, wow, I'm really happy that nothing happened to me. It was like, well, if that was the way I go, then that was the way I go. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I was suicidal by the end, but I definitely didn't have a value for my life, you know?
Yeah.
If it was going to happen on accident, then so be it. Then it would be tragic. Oh, poor Sam died in the car accident, So I had lost kind of the will to live and go on. The next morning actually was the morning that I called my father and told him that I wanted to get sober. And he didn't really know exactly what was going on in my life, but he dropped everything he was doing. I quit my job the next day, and I was in Marin County, and I was going to treatment. Treatment was a 30-day, very luxurious stay. I had never tried to kick opiates cold turkey before. I'd always had Suboxone, methadone, and I mean, here's the thing. Whatever you need to do to get sober, you need to do. But I realized when I did a cold turkey, that's exactly what I needed. It was the pain that I was going through that really was the thing that drove me to be like, everything else, I can't do anything else as a crutch. I need to go through that pain. It didn't last as long as it would have if I was taking Suboxone or something like that. And I'm not trying to hate on anything else. Anything that anyone is using to stay sober, as long as you can stay sober and off the shit, then great. But that was what I needed. I needed to go cold turkey, and I needed that pain. And it was definitely painful, but the pain only lasted for like 2 weeks this time.
Yeah.
And then I remember one morning I woke up, and it had been about 2 weeks, and I don't think I just hadn't felt anything in years, since I was a kid. I hadn't seen like the world for how like it was around me, the reality of like the world I was living. I hadn't seen it clearly in that long. And I remember that one day just smelling things and looking at things and being like, man, it's a beautiful place to be. And I didn't want to let go of it. So I spent the first 2 weeks of recovery wanting to break out of that rehab and going to get dope. And that was the day that my life really changed after 2 weeks. And I no longer wanted to leave. And I no longer like looked around the people that I was in these meetings in rehab with and everything like that. I no longer was judging them and thinking that they didn't know who I was or anything like that. I was ready to accept who I was, accept the fact that not everybody has the same story as me, and work towards something together.
I just want to point out that that's such a normal time frame.
Yeah.
You know, it could be longer, you know, if you're doing a Suboxone detox, but 2 weeks substance free, something usually clicks, and people end up wanting to stay. So I'm glad you said that, because my point to pointing it out is that if you just hang on one more day, one more day, you know how many people leave treatment 5 minutes before the miracle happens?
Yeah.
Leave.
I don't, but I'm sure you do.
It's just, and that's the part that is so hard, right? It's like, you know, we can see it. I can see it, you know, especially being an addict, right? I can see when consciously somebody will be sitting in treatment. They're at 13 days and they want to leave against clinical advice or medical advice, right? And I can see that consciously they don't want to get loaded.
Yeah.
But what I can also see is subconsciously they're already loaded.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. And
totally.
if you can
it's
hang
powerful.
on.
Yeah, it's powerful.
It's so powerful.
This disease is so powerful. But if you can hang on that. And I like listening to all these motivational things, because you could take all of the same stuff that I'm talking about for later in life.
Oh,
right?
no doubt. Yeah.
You know, one more rep at the gym.
Yeah.
One more podcast. One more interview.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, whatever your goals become in life. But like right there in the beginning of treatment, man, your goal is to stay sober, right?
Yeah.
Your goal is to complete treatment. Your goal is to start feeling better.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's always the toughest right before it gets better.
No doubt.
I mean, it's just like, that's like the way God made the world.
Yeah.
It's always the darkest before the dawn, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah.
It's all right after a rain.
Yep.
How beautiful is the sky?
Clear,
And
crystal
the smell,
clear.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally true.
So
And,
that's I wanted to point out that there is a real significant in you hanging on and pushing through that and getting to that day.
It feels hopeless, you know, and I know that from personal experience. It there's going to be so many times in early recovery where it just seems hopeless, and those old thoughts start creeping back in. Like, well, you know, I remember that, you know, I had the thought a lot when I was using, because I'm more of a scientific guy as opposed to a religious guy.
Yeah.
Just me personally.
Yeah.
But I remember having the thought so much, like, well, what does it really matter what I do here? Right. Because I'm just a tiny speck in the universe. Like that's kind of what I thought about. So like, why don't I just enjoy what I'm doing? You know, fuck everybody else. And this is, you know, insignificant anyway. And that's not at all the case, but that's what I thought. So that kind of goes into the hopelessness that I was feeling. Even in early sobriety, it wasn't always either really good or really bad. There was that time in those 2 weeks that it was like, well, I'm feeling good enough now, but still that's at the back of my mind, you know? I mean, this is how powerful from my experience, how powerful my addiction was. I can remember some times in that drive from Santa Barbara to LA where I'd be withdrawing really bad and I'd feel terrible. And I would have, I guess I didn't know, there was some uncertainty about whether or not I would get my heroin or not. And as soon as my dealer picked up and I knew that he was available, I would feel better.
Right.
And not because I had my drugs. I would feel like I wasn't withdrawing anymore, just because my brain told me, okay, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Like I've been clean and sober before and heading out on a relapse. And knowing that my dealer had the shit and I was going to pick it up and I was already loaded before. All of the physiological things that happen, you know, when you get loaded, like all of a sudden I'd have to go to the bathroom because I knew
it's coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just all the weird shit.
Yeah. The brain's powerful. The brain's more powerful than anything else in the body, you know?
Yeah. And scientifically, I like that because like the insignificant, right? You can think that until you drop a pebble into the water.
Mm-hmm.
And you drop a little tiny pebble into the water, and how far does that ripple spread? So that's how
endlessly.
That's how significant we actually are.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm not saying it was the right thought by any means. That was the thought that I had.
Right. Yeah. No, I understand. I understand that thought. You use the word like hopelessness.
For sure. Yeah.
When you're feeling hopeless, you don't realize
how
powerful you actually are.
Yeah.
because you feel like, man, maybe the world would be better off if I wasn't here.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. I definitely had that feeling.
Totally, man. Depression.
Yeah.
I've been there many times.
And the people around me would have been better if I wasn't there, mainly, because I live my life, now, especially based on relationships, and everybody in my life would have been better without me, back then. That's what I thought.
But they truly wouldn't have been.
No, hell no.
Because, when you lose somebody, there's always that that sense of pain and loss that lasts with you forever.
Forever.
Yeah. Yeah, regardless of how that person treated you. I mean,
Yeah.
if you get close enough to somebody, that's just...
Yep.
You don't realize what's going to happen when they're gone until they're gone. And it's powerful. Our relationships, no matter how we treat people, everything that we do to other people is powerful,
Who was in here the other day that said, just be nice because you don't know what somebody's going through? Oh, no, that was at Bobby's memorial.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's powerful.
It is.
No doubt, yeah.
Just be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be nice.
Yeah, don't assume that anybody, or don't assume, that people have it all together.
I
and,
still honk and swear in the car.
Yeah, but it's about how you react to you doing that,
Yeah.
You know what's weird?
How do you do that the rest of the day,
No, I'm all right the rest of the day, but when I'm in the car, I'm swearing.
I'm the guy that gets honked and sweared at.
Yeah. Because I'm behind you sometimes. I'm saying, what the fuck is he doing at the light?
We were having this conversation yesterday with my wife on the way home because she never lets me drive. Because you know how I like to talk.
Yeah.
I talk to people when I'm driving. I'll be like, if you're in this seat, even if you're in the back seat, I'm looking back
and
at
he's
you.
driving.
And I'm driving.
And he's driving fast. He doesn't drive slow.
Hopefully I never see you out on the roads.
I'm telling you.
So I was telling my wife, like I've literally gotten flipped off by like a silvered hair old lady. Like literally, like she's like out the windshield flipping me off, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? Usually when somebody honks at me, I honk back just to makes me feel good.
I honk and wave.
Or if somebody's really like flips me off, I'll flip them off.
Yeah.
But like when this old lady flipped me off, I was like, I can't flip her off.
No,
That's my grandma right there. That's like I must really be a shitty driver if this old lady.
That's funny. Well, I was driving in
she was
the
like
other
payback.
Day. Yeah, right.
Sometimes people like this flip me off.
Tearing downstairs, brake checked me the other day.
What?
She's tearing downstairs. She was on the phone driving. I came up behind her and she brake checked me.
You were tailgating?
I was tailgating.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who
You
it
didn't
was.
know it was
I didn't know it was her.
Oh no.
And then she brake checked me. Like I was like this. I had no finger, but I'm like, where are you going?
And then what?
And then she ended up apologizing, saying, sorry, that was me in front of you. I didn't realize I tail braked. I didn't know, I'm the bastard.
She apologized to you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully you apologized.
I did.
To
I said,
her
no, it wasn't you. It was me that was a dick. I'm a aggressive driver.
Well, you recognize it about yourself.
Yeah,
though,
yeah. It's
something you need to work on.
I'm working.
We all got stuff to work on, man. It's all right.
You're gonna end up getting shot.
No, I don't give the finger. I do this. I'm the hand guy. What are you doing?
Oh, you're like an Italian.
Yeah.
Like
what are you doing?
Yeah.
You say, what are you
meatballs?
doing? I really don't like it when people like question what I'm doing. I'm driving. I ain't paying attention to you. That's what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
Got important people in here that I need to talk to.
Yeah.
The only you know who I pay attention to the most though? Motorcyclists.
Yeah.
When they're going through on the freeway and there's traffic.
Oh yeah, I'm the nice guy. When
me
I
too.
pull over because that's actually it's the law. We have shared lanes in
rights.
California.
Yeah.
And those guys have the right to go down that lane.
Center,
Yeah.
Don't get in their way.
Totally.
Pull out and let them, pull over a little bit and let them go by.
100%.
Yeah.
There's people, and I used to ride a motorcycle. That's why, if you've never ridden a motorcycle, you don't really see motorcyclists. That's what they teach you in motorcycle school.
Yeah.
No, to teach you that no one's looking at you.
Nobody's looking at you.
Assume that no one can see you.
Assume that no one can see you.
Yeah.
I'm not driving you to Palm Springs. Just we're clear. I'm taking my own car.
It doesn't feel good
not
not
to get
be
out of the
seen,
way.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are going to Palm Springs? Nice.
Yeah, like you remember last year you went.
Yeah.
I did go.
You
Yeah.
went and played golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be working, so.
Oh shit! He was working. Where's my camera? He was. I don't know for sure if he was playing golf.
Well, the golf course. The golf course is one of my accounts, so I was technically working.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I set it up that way on purpose.
Fucking Chad. Seriously, bro. Like, what is he
Putting
doing?
my shit out there.
Is
Yeah.
he looking at us? Is he looking?
He probably is. There's only 3 of us.
Okay.
4 of us.
All right.
4 of us in here.
It's good. Good times.
Yeah.
Threw him under the bus.
Yep, I did. Yeah.
That's all right.
It's okay. I'm sure that, well, maybe someone is listening from
Oh,
work.
for sure someone's going to hear it, bro.
That's okay.
Eventually they will, because
We're at a
like,
million viewers.
we're not at a million.
Impressive.
We're going to be at a million viewers.
We will be at a million viewers.
Impressive.
Yeah. So somebody someday will hear it.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
I'm okay with it.
Once what ends up happening is that people will eventually go back and you know, listen to stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Currently, probably, you know, it could get anywhere from as little as 150 views to 8,000 is what our current
I'll tell you who's going to listen for sure, though. Guaranteed. 100%.
Who?
Your son.
Yeah.
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 That's what's cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that's what's
down
cool.
down the road.
Yeah, down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he might listen to it if your wife listens to it. I'm not even going to say his wife's name, but if your wife listens to it.
My wife better listen to it.
Oh, yeah, she will.
Oh, she will for sure.
She'll definitely listen.
She'll
to
critique
it,
you, bro.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She'll have her pad and paper, honey.
She will for
Honey.
sure.
Actually, I could see that.
Honey, your
She
English
totally
is
will.
just a little off.
She's probably she's gonna have the notepad ready,
Yeah.
and she's gonna tell me everything I did wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like everything else was good though.
Welcome to the married life.
Yeah.
They,
It's a good life.
Yeah, they lure you in with all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Deception.
Yeah. Well, she's making me a better person though. When I
Oh,
really
yeah, that's
look at it, you know?
that's the
what they
best
do.
part.
That's what
That's
what
the
she
best
said.
part about
That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they say they do.
Yeah.
Shane's been happily married
Yeah.
for
It's called conformity, bro.
14
You're
years.
conforming to her
14.
needs.
Yeah. Of
15.
course. Yeah. Yeah.
15?
I can be committed. 15 years.
15 years.
That's
3
pretty
kids.
good.
Yeah.
Good for you. 3 kids.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice. I just had my
Great.
first.
Yeah. Great lady.
I'm coming
Great.
up on 7.
Yeah.
Your
7.
son is handsome.
Thank you.
You have a very handsome son.
Yeah. Great
Yeah,
skin.
thank you.
Mhm.
He is. He's olive skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He took that from me.
Yeah.
I could tell.
Yeah, Bailey said that.
Bailey, yeah.
Oops.
The rest of the features definitely from Bailey. So,
Had the perfect
yeah.
nose, great eyes.
yeah, those are from Bailey for sure. Yeah,
Good for you.
he's a good kid, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing like it. The smell of the,
No,
you know,
no,
just
yeah.
all of it.
Yeah, even when they smell like spit up milk, it's
Yeah,
still somehow endearing.
something else.
You know?
Yeah, it really is. You get it in
Yeah.
the mouth yet?
What's that?
The
poop
milk in the
doesn't-
mouth, the hot milk in the mouth?
No, people ask me this, and I haven't.
I don't know.
haven't.
I think that never happened. to
Oh,
me.
it happened to me.
I have
He
two-
spit. I
two
was holding
children.
him up here right after.
Oh, I
breastfeeding.
did that with my-
He
Oh,
spit-
so he spit up.
he spit
in
up
your
after,
mouth.
in my mouth.
Yeah.
like
And I
like a
just
like
turned
a
over.
like a
Yeah.
mommy bird regurgitating into
Bro,
her.
and
yeah.
I just turned over and spit it right on my wife's stomach.
I did.
I remember
that
like
happened
yesterday.
with my nephew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
It
That's
didn't. It
disgusting,
didn't go in
honestly,
my mouth,
but-
but all over my head.
Yeah.
yeah.
All just. Oh.
Oh yeah. Warm.
I literally threw.
warm
it
You
back.
threw up
pieces.
after that, and
Yeah.
it was a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was like 12 when it happened to me. I
Yeah.
had this brand new little baby nephew, and I was
Yeah.
like, "He's so cute." Just threw up on my head.
Not anymore.
That's funny.
Um,
Yeah. Good times.
yeah, man, that's awesome. Though.
Yeah.
So now you're a husband.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
a father.
Yeah.
You're sober.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that I talk more about, the
What you're
actual
doing
recovery.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Because
gonna
I
ask.
spent it's more exciting, I guess, to hear about the past, but really what's important is what happens after that day. So I'm one of the lucky ones that since April 13, 2016, I have not relapsed. I've never really relapsed in my life, I guess, because I used from the time I was 10 until 28, and then since then I've been sober. So I'm one of the lucky ones that has not, and I haven't really felt the need to. I guess that I got low enough in my life, and everybody's low is different, everybody's bottom is different. But I guess that I got to a point where I was low enough that I'd play the tape back and I just think about who I was then, and what's funny is I think now I feel like I do deserve things which I never did before. I guess the things I can say about early recovery. So when I got out of residential rehab, I was in the 30-day really fancy rehab, as I said before, and then right after that.
Were you being serious about that? I couldn't tell because then you said you didn't take any meds.
I didn't take any meds.
That was by choice.
No. When I got in there, I was convinced that I wanted to take Suboxone. When the doctor said he wouldn't give me any, I fucking flipped my shit. But he wouldn't give me any.
Okay.
And that was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. So thank you to that doctor. I couldn't tell you his name, but thank you to that doctor that did not give me Suboxone, because I went into rehab thinking that I was going to have it available, and it wasn't.
I'm wondering if the rehab you went to, that's the same one that I went to. Was it up there?
It's called Bayside Marin.
Yeah, I went there.
Oh, you did?
I lasted 24 hours.
It's fancy though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
really
it was
nice.
found. Their food is amazing. There was that kitchen.
Ridiculous.
So I got there and I had this beautiful, like queen size bed.
Me too. Yeah.
Down
waterfall,
down
shower.
Yeah.
Views on top of a hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, it was nice.
Like my buddy drove me from here.
Yeah.
All the way up there.
Yeah.
I got there, and he started driving back.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. Woke up the next morning. Had breakfast.
Stunning. What a stunning place.
Called a cab.
Well, you had a good overnight then. That was a nice little
Airbnb.
I called a cab, got to the airport, flew home. I landed back in Orange County before my buddy got back. He was so fucking pissed that he wasted 2 days of his life.
Yeah, he thought he was doing something really good. Yeah, but you weren't ready, and that's okay. What I knew about I needed to be ready to do it. I mean, a lot of people can try to, which is a good point. A lot of people need to realize, and I know it's hard because my parents, my mom still probably blames herself, and like, it's not your fault, Mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that people can do until someone gets to the point where they really, truly want to be sober. Yeah. For me, anyway. I won't talk about everybody else, but that's for sure how it was for me. I needed to get to a point where it didn't matter what anybody else said until I got to that place in my head, like, okay, I'm ready for this. So yeah, I got out of rehab, and I was convinced while I was in rehab, I told my therapist, I'm like, what I want to do after I get out is go to Australia. That was my plan.
Yeah.
But we've talked about some sayings in recovery, and sayings are sayings because they are true. You know what I mean? And one that really rings true to me is like, wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah.
And that rings true to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where I go. Like when I go to New Zealand, I find dope.
Yeah.
Just like you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where I can't escape what I've got going on between my ears. Right. So I started, by the end of rehab, I realized that I did not know how to live a manageable life. I finally got to the point where I was willing to surrender, and I started listening to what other people told me. And my therapist told me she told me about this great program down in Orange County. It was, it offered, it wasn't a residential program, but offered a place to live with groups. Granted that I go to a 12-step program while I was there. So I decided to go, and I've been in Orange County ever since. Did not have I was convinced that I wanted to leave Orange County for months when I got down here, but I stuck with it. I started going to meetings, and as I said before, I'm a 12-step guy. That's just kind of, and I go to AA, and just replace, the word drug with the word alcohol. Yeah, that's what I do. This is, I just found that there was a lot of sobriety in there for me. That was the place I wanted to be. Picked up a sponsor. I've had some sponsees to give back. And in early recovery, I went to 2 meetings a day because that's what I needed. Because still, when I was in early recovery, I'd look at other people and say, oh, they don't understand me because, they only drank. I was using heroin, we're completely different. When, it took me a while to realize it just doesn't matter. Like, as long as we're all working towards something to make ourselves better people, it doesn't matter what you did in your past.
Right.
So I realized that, going to, as I said, 2 meetings a day. And, so the 12-step program was very, very important to me. The other thing I wanted to say about early sobriety is that, like I said, when I went to New Zealand, I thought that if I just changed one thing about myself, then it would solve all my problems. Really what I needed was to change completely everything. Right. And down to one thing I can point to is, like, I used to love, like, as I said, sleeping. So I would sleep whenever I could. Obviously doing heroin, I was nodding out anyway. So even if I didn't want to sleep, I was sleeping. Like when I was driving 90 miles an hour on the freeway. Yeah. So in early recovery, I started scheduling everything. Anything that I could do that was something different than sitting on my couch, which is what I used to do when I was getting high. Yeah. Anything other than that would be better, would be preferable. So I started, going, excuse me. I started going to the gym a lot. Been going to the gym almost every day since I got sober. I play a lot of golf now. Even just going and sitting.
Was the gym part of your life before getting sober?
Yeah, because I was always an athlete. So, but probably not for like the last 5 years. Yeah. My body was just kind of wasting away. So I wasn't in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that part about adding that piece to people in sobriety, especially even like early in recovery. If you can start it early in recovery, it's so beneficial.
We need it. You know what I mean? Like we need something else to be able to at least a little bit kind of replace the endorphins that we were feeling before, right?
There's been times when I was weightlifting, man, I'd have these little bing, bing, bing going off in my brain. Yeah. I don't get them anymore, though. Sucks.
You got to work harder.
I still get them. I still get them.
You do?
I think
you do?
I so look forward to the next day. Like, I'm in bed. I like to go to bed early now. Like, the last week especially, I've been going to bed early because I want to get up.
You take your cold plunge?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I want to get to the day. By 5 o'clock, it's over. I'm saying, fuck it, I'm done. There's nothing like.
You're a morning guy.
Has it gone from there's nothing
8 to 5?
There's nothing good happens after 5 p.m.
Used to be 5 a.m.
No, it used to be 8.
It used to be 8.
8 p.m. for him.
Now it's 5.
He was like
5.
It's really 10, right? It's 10. Nothing good happens.
I think it was always midnight for
midnight.
Yeah.
Definitely nothing good happens after midnight.
Well, yeah, I thought that was the point. That's where it started, right? Midnight.
Well, back in the day.
And then okay.
Now that it ends at 5.
You're never ever supposed to drive your car between the hours of 12 and 2.
That's the most dangerous time to drive.
What about 3?
3?
No,
you could be like a trucker going to work. Yeah.
Everyone's home already.
Sure, yeah.
3 o'clock, you can be back out on
12 to 2, huh?
Yeah.
12 to 2 is no good.
Witching hour.
Yeah. Actually, I've totaled 4 cars in my life, and they've probably all been between the hours of 12 and 2. So honestly, I'm thinking back on it. Like that's
you see?
Yeah.
Bad shit happens at that time of the night.
It does. It does.
So sober. Jim, you were at the gym talking about you scheduled everything.
I had to schedule everything. I needed to fill up my days. And in early sobriety, I'd quit my job because obviously I was working in the wine business, so that wasn't really something that fit in with sobriety. So I needed to, I wasn't working. I was down here. I was living with a fellow sober guy. And we ended up after 6 months at SCRC, which is the program that I went to down here. We ended up leaving and we moved in together. People that ran the program told us not to, so I didn't follow instruction there, but we both stayed sober. We're both still sober today.
Nice.
And we had similar interests, and I started hanging out with people from the program. This is going to sound bad kind of, but, I don't really, there's like 2 or 3 friends I have from when I grew up that I still have today. But what I realized about cause I thought I had all these friends, right? Like when I was in high school and college and, even after college, I was like, man, I'm really good in social situations. I have a lot of friends. I didn't fucking have friends. They weren't my friends. They wanted something from me and I wanted something from them. It was a mutually beneficial relationship, but it had nothing to do with us connecting on any kind of level past just drugs and alcohol. And when I was honest with that about myself, as I said, I still have a couple friends that are real true friends from that time in my life, but I left and stopped talking to pretty much like all of my friends from the past. I needed a complete change from that. Which I'm not saying that everybody needs to do, but that's what I need to do. I looked around at other people in recovery, and the people that I saw that it really caught on was the people that realized that they needed to change more than just the drugs and the alcohol. And I'm a firm believer that you really need to change more than that. There's a lot of people that try to live the same life that they were living before, just without the drugs and alcohol. And in my experience, that it doesn't have the best results, because there's more to why you use drugs and alcohol than just the presence of the drugs and alcohol in your system. You have to deal with other things in your mind. So that's my experience. And so I don't act like a grimy idiot anymore. Like I don't frequent places that people use and drink a lot. I mean, I'm not, I've been to bars in recovery and things like that, but just living a more, I guess, wholesome life has been really big for me in recovery. And I don't know if you guys relate to that, but
100%.
It's just something that I had to do is change a lot about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty boring.
I am too.
Yeah.
Like at any time of the day, and here's I don't really know if I should put this out. G would be like, don't say that, but I'm gonna say it anyways. If you followed me for 1 week, you could know exactly where I am any day of the week. That's how boring I am.
That goes back to the scheduling.
I'm very scheduled. I'm very routined.
Yep.
I have specific things that I do every day. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Shout out to Flame Broiler because I'm there. G said, "Don't stop telling people what time you go to Flame Broilers." he literally said that to me. He said, "Stop telling them what time you go to Flame Broiler."
Why, do you think there's a good hit out on you or something? Or
I don't know. He just doesn't want.
That's a good spot.
That's a great spot.
I can back that up. Yeah, that magic sauce.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Yeah. And you know what's amazing about Flame Broiler is I can't really do red stuff anymore because I ended up with like
ferrets.
No, just like acid reflux.
What do you mean? Oh, the hot sauce.
Yeah, I can do their hot sauce.
Okay.
But I can't do like anything tomato based or I used to eat so much sriracha.
Yeah.
I think it just like eroded part of my stomach. That stuff's not good.
Not good.
Is it not?
No.
I didn't know that.
My wife loves that shit.
You still
it's good.
It?
Yeah.
Oh,
I still have it. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you tried the Trader Joe one?
Yeah, it's not as good, but it's.
Oh, you know what? That's the one I liked better because it's a little bit thinner.
Okay.
And I'd put it on my ground turkey, and then I would cut up
ground turkey. Great in recovery too. Ground turkey. Yeah. We got the same diet, kind of. Yeah. Flame broil and ground turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen what Bailey eats. Does she cook for you?
Oh, hey there. No.
I do most of the cooking in the
house. You do?
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Bailey's getting better, though.
Is she?
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Well, we could mark that off the list. That's good.
But I'm saying, honestly, I say that because she's gonna listen to this.
Yeah,
so
she is.
The thing about me,
she can't cook.
No, she can.
Oh, she can.
The thing about me is one thing in life that I take probably too seriously is cooking.
Yeah.
So when I always like say that I want Bailey's help in the kitchen, and when she does come in, then I start micromanaging, and she hates it. She hates it. So I'll be like, "Can you cut this pepper?" Right? And then she'll start cutting it. And then I'll come over and be like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, my wife does that to me.
You got to it's a little small. I said diced.
Yeah,
I said diced, not chopped. You know what I mean? And that just pisses her off to no end. So now she doesn't come in the kitchen when I'm in there, but she does. She's started to make me some really good meals now. So
funny.
I
said diced, not filleted.
It's so bad. So I know I do that, but my dad would say the same thing when I'm in the kitchen. Like, just don't come in there. I don't know. Because I'll start micromanaging everybody.
Yeah. I get it all the time. It's too small in here, honey. Why don't you go sit on the couch? I'm like, okay, babe. Do you need anything? No. Just fuck off.
Yeah. At least, yeah. You know now.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So she's like me, your wife.
Yeah, my wife's
in the kitchen.
Yeah, more in the kitchen.
Yeah. I like being in the kitchen.
Cooking and winery does go together.
I don't have either of those problems at my house because my wife doesn't cook and I don't cook.
There you go.
So it's flame broiler for dinner.
Flame broiler for dinner.
Yeah.
Ground turkey.
I should start doing more flame broiler.
I feel like my wife would cook, but she does make food for
kid
for one of the kids.
Yeah. Okay.
My other kids are very self-sufficient. They go but get their own food.
Well, kids don't need a good meal. Yeah. Well, they do nutritiously, but they don't care what it took to make, and they don't care really what technique went into it. Yeah. You know,
no,
where I'm on fucking Top Chef or something. You know?
Yeah, like see, here's the thing though, my kids wouldn't eat that.
They wouldn't eat the nice stuff.
No, you would spend all that time doing that, and then they'd be like, I don't like this.
Right. Yeah.
Or I don't like that. Why is that? What's that green thing in there?
Yeah. Yeah. Why isn't there ketchup on this? If there's no ketchup on it, I'm not eating it.
Yeah. Or ranch.
Yeah. I love
one
ranch.
or the other. Yeah.
One of my kids is like all about the ranch, man.
Yeah.
She goes through like a gallon Hidden Valley in a week.
Yeah, I like the Hidden Valley Ranch.
She's so skinny. Good. She's so skinny though. Like my 14-year-old, it's like she needs to eat.
Yeah.
You got to give her whatever you can give her to eat because
more ranch.
McDonald's.
Great metabolism.
Yeah, just
McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Yeah. Trying to stay away from that stuff nowadays.
Why?
I don't know.
I have proof that stuff's healthy.
Really?
You do.
Do you remember when I was sick and I came back from Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how you recovered?
That's how I recovered.
Was McDonald's chicken nuggets?
Yep.
The parasites from the McDonald's food fought the parasites from the Mexican
Mexico.
food. And the McDonald's parasites won.
Like the hospital couldn't fix me, and I was just like, you know what? I said, F this. I told my wife, take me to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Take me to I couldn't eat.
McDonald's poop.
I said, take me to McDonald's. I'm gonna get a cheeseburger plain, a 6-piece chicken McNugget, and a Sprite.
Yeah.
And
Sprite's a good call.
Yeah, the Sprite's a good call.
See, it's not everybody's like, oh, it was the Sprite.
Yeah,
I was like,
Sprite.
it wasn't. It was the chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Well, I'll never be able to prove it either way.
Are they allowed to call it chicken?
I mean, I don't know if they
I'm
do.
joking.
They call it chicken nuggets.
No, it's not a joke.
It's not a joke. I think they just call it McNuggets.
they're mixed
Is that right?
now.
I don't know.
You might be right.
I don't know.
Because
The guy at Jack in the Box says that chickens don't have nuggets.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
they don't.
What guy?
Jack in the Box.
Jack.
Oh, the round head guy. Yeah.
Jack, yeah.
Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah.
Good old fucking Jack.
I used to like those Jack tacos.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever visited?
It's not actually meat.
Yeah.
farm?
What is that?
It's like soy product or
Yeah.
something.
Is it?
So I think they're vegan,
Yeah.
but I mean they're fucking disgusting. But yeah, I used to
Have
eat
you
those
been
a lot.
on a
And they just put like
bird
a
ranch?
slice.
Yeah.
A slice of like, not cheddar cheese, American cheese or something.
That's an American as it gets, right there.
craft process slingles.
You know
Slingle.
half the stuff, and I know we're way off topic right now, but did you know half the stuff that's legal here in the United States, you go to Canada or you go in Italy, in the European countries,
Yeah, can't have it.
can't have it.
Yeah. It's for the best over there. Yeah,
Their chips, like their Dorito chips taste better in Europe
no doubt. Yeah.
than they do here.
Burger King in Spain when I was there is it's like gourmet. Like if you have a girl, like you're taking her somewhere
date,
nice, it's
Burger
Burger King on Friday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did.
It's gourmet.
I was in Paris, and because of the movie Pulp Fiction, I had to stop at McDonald's.
Yeah, Royale with cheese.
I went up and I ordered myself a Royale with cheese. I was literally in an Uber, and I'm like, dude, please pull over. McDonald's. He's like, I can't. But I guess because he did.
Yeah.
In Europe, the Ubers are, I think they're like tracked by the government or something.
Oh,
and
yeah?
you can't. So he's not allowed to pull. He's really not supposed to pull over.
Really? Can't
Yeah.
stop.
Oh, so you can't go anywhere that's not part of the route?
Part of the route. Yeah.
Interesting.
That fucking French.
He did pull over. I was like, dude, I'll tip you. Come on, please. I need a Royale with
That
cheese.
People do it
understands.
for money.
Yeah.
Yeah, Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
They don't like us over there, and I was in Paris.
No, they don't.
That's where we flew into.
Nowhere
and
in
I
Europe
just-
really likes Americans.
Yeah.
We don't like the French anyways either.
I just was like, oh, hey, I'm Canada. I'm Canadian, eh?
Yeah. Then they like you.
Everyone loves Canadians.
Everyone loves
Everyone
a Canadian.
loves Canadians,
So I kept my
except for
passport.
Americans.
Well,
I don't
they're
like-
so nice.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
are nice.
They really
Yeah,
are.
we are.
Yeah.
We love everybody.
I don't really like
Yeah,
Canadians.
you fucking.
I don't.
Your dad's a Canadian.
I know, but no, my dad is American.
Not really. He's from
American.
Saskatoon.
He's American.
American. He's American now.
Yeah, my dad's an immigrant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
no.
really this? It's like I say that, but my dad's from Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an immigrant.
He's an immigrant.
He's an immigrant.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Fucking A.
You're an immigrant.
I'm an immigrant.
So does the Canadian government know that you're an American citizen?
I don't know. They know I'm not there though, because I don't have any health insurance out there anymore.
Oh yeah.
No, they revoked it.
So how did we get this far off topic? Where were we? Could help.
I don't know. Yeah. Where were we?
Oh fuck! I have no idea.
This is
Well,
what he
I think-
normally says
no
to
clue.
me.
I
took us
think
off.
what I was talking about. I was talking about the rehab I was in Bayside.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Bayside
where I was.
Miranda.
Well, you went pretty far after that. You were working
Okay, I
on
was
already.
down here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did SCRC already.
Yeah.
I was at SCRC. Yeah.
That was. And
We
you
were
moved in with the
talking about-
roommate. That was the
Yeah.
last thing.
Okay. Yeah. So I live with the roommate.
We haven't found out how you met your wife yet, though.
Oh yeah. So I'll get there for sure.
Tinder.
So what else? I mean,
I'm gonna guess no on that.
it wasn't Tinder. Thank God.
Why, it seems like that's Bailey's style.
Yeah,
No, neither of ours. No, I don't
Okay,
think. I don't think
sorry, I'm
Bailey would
just
go on
way
Tinder.
off.
No,
No,
she'd
Bailey
probably be worried about creepy
Fuck,
guys on there.
Of course.
There's no way she
There's
would
no
go on
chance.
anywhere.
Never.
Never.
She wouldn't need to, I guess.
I was on
This was
there. I
this was a
I was-
family introduction.
I was on
Yeah.
there.
So
But, okay.
I will get there. Yeah. I was living with my buddy who I met in recovery, and I had a whole new group of friends, as I said, and I guess by the end of my addiction, I had nobody. I was just alone. It was pathetic. It was this pathetic existence of wake up, work so I could make money to get my drugs, and then do it all the next day. So I had nobody, and connection is important. I think connection is really, really important. Because when I got into treatment eventually, and when I came down here and started going to my own meetings, I started just hanging out with people from the groups, and And then I got a job when I was ready to get a job. And when I thought that I was ready to kind of be a little productive again, I got a job, and I got a job at a restaurant, whatever I could get, just to feel productive and be a functioning member of society again. Now I worked at restaurants in early recovery for about, I guess, like 4 years. Worked at restaurants in Laguna Beach, and I was around alcohol, and a lot of people, kind of question that about it. And I actually still work in the liquor business today, which, my sponsor definitely did not recommend that, but it's what I studied in college, and it's a job. I guess the way that I justify it, which fair or not, I was not, I didn't drink a lot towards, I never really drank a lot. I much preferred opiates, but that's my job. And that's the way, that's how I make my living. It's a job. I treat it as such. So anyway, I worked at restaurants, and whatever I could do to start being productive, I picked up, if somebody like released a shift, I'd be the first one to pick it up. I made myself available all the time to work. I did not focus on meeting girls at all for the first year. And that was okay. And, I don't think I would have known what the fuck to say to a girl in early recovery. I was working on myself so much. What could I possibly have to say to anybody, of the opposite sex that was desirable? That would have been something worth saying or worth hearing. Right? You know what I mean?
What value do you have?
There is not. I had no value.
None of us did.
No value. Yeah. And that took a while to kind of build that back up. So, I was working at restaurants, and but I felt good about that. I felt good just because I was living my life again. And I had people around me that actually gave a shit about me. Finally, my parents were in the loop. I'd been completely honest with my parents. That was something I left out, but with my whole family. One thing I wanted to say about that, when I was in very early sobriety, within that first, after that 2 week, when I kind of woke up, I wrote a bunch of letters to my parents, emails, and I was completely honest about everything that I had done in my entire life. And I made it clear that it wasn't their fault, even though they still blame themselves anyway. But I was completely honest with them. That really helped me. That was cathartic. But, I think because I had lied to them for so long and built up walls, the thing I wanted to say about that was it helped everybody in my family, not just me. And for selfish reasons, I'm glad that I think I wanted to say I was doing it for the right reason, but what the outcome was that my family is so much closer than it's ever been today. And I'm not trying to, I guess, take 100% credit for that, but I think that just opening up these different lines of communication that are based on honesty and not bullshit.
Yeah.
That really helped everybody in my family to be closer. Which was kind of an unintended but great consequence of me getting sober. Anyway, now I had my family back in my life. I started working again. Now I was ready to, it was a progression from realizing that I probably didn't have anything of value to people to getting a job, realizing that I did still have value to people, getting some modicum of self-worth back in my life. And then, one day I was at the beach. I decided to go down to the beach with my roommate. We're at Strands in Dana Point. And me and him, whenever we go to the beach, where are we going to sit? And we just walk down the beach till we see the best looking couple of girls and sit down close enough to them, right? So that's kind of what we did. So, we went down to the beach, and we sat down next to two cute girls, and one of them was my future wife, and we just started talking in the water. We hung out a couple days after that, our first date, and never looked back since. So that's how me and Bailey met. That was 2018.
2018?
Yeah, 5 years ago.
What's the other girl doing now?
Oh, the other one that Bailey was with?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're friends or?
Not anymore, I don't think. No.
Was she still in school? Because when did she start working for Hope?
Bailey was still in school. Yeah. So she blew my mind because I was working to get my master's at that point. I didn't mention that, but I had got my undergrad in winemaking, and I realized honestly, there was just no money in wine.
Yeah.
I was in production, so I was actually the one inside tanks, fucking scooping and shoveling skins out,
wow.
So I was in production doing all the sciencey stuff. And anyway, so I went back to school, and I went to Long Beach to get my MBA. So I was working towards my master's, but I was, I guess I was 30 years old at that point. Yeah, 30 years old when I met Bailey. And she was 24, I guess. So anyway, she was already like about to graduate with her master's, and I was like just getting mine. She was already like finishing up at USC. She's a fucking Trojan getting her master's at like 24.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was still in school when I met her.
Not a lot of people do it that way, though.
No.
Some people do, but not a lot.
No,
not everybody.
No, she's exceptional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad did it that way. I think my son's gonna do it that way. But
what amazes me about that is like just having the self-awareness to like and the drive to know what you want that early on.
Right.
I had no idea what the fuck I want. I only studied wine at when I was 22 because I like to drink. You know,
it's like a pro athlete. They know what they want to do. They got to train towards what they want to do.
Yeah.
She knew she was a pro athlete.
She knew, yeah.
That's all.
She knew that she wanted to be
scholastically. She was a pro athlete.
Yeah, she knew that she wanted to be of service to others.
Yeah.
Crazy, yeah, but
It
not
is.
everybody's like that. And so we were in school at the same time. We ended up getting our masters like around the same time.
Nice.
And and then we got married, I guess, 3 years after that. We've traveled. At this point in my life, I realized that I have some value, and she saw that too. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's cool.
Yeah, good for you.
You know, yeah, and our son was born a month and a half ago, about 6 weeks ago. So
Yeah, so now you have a nice, long, beautiful future ahead of you.
yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
It's really cool. This is like, I feel like, I don't know. That's kind of like I guess not the final step because recovery is never, I don't think it's ever ending. But I guess like when I got sober, which is another kind of important thing. When I got sober, I was like, well, what the fuck am I going to do? I mean, how many hours of every day did I spend searching, looking for, buying, or using drugs?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the majority of every day, right?
Yeah.
You know how to work. We talk about that.
That's actually a thing.
You got good work ethic.
That's actually a thing.
Yeah.
Like us drug addicts,
Yeah.
man, get us sober.
Yeah. Fuck.
Just to fucking work.
Yeah. I mean, we got to drive.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Like,
it's a daily thing. If you're like a true like everyday user,
oh yeah.
I mean it is a lot of effort figuring out how do you get money every morning,
Yeah.
and then it just restarts every day.
Yeah,
Right?
Every single
Every
day. And
day.
if you're on meth, it doesn't end.
Oh, you don't
So,
sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it was like every day, 24/7.
God, the meth stories are funny when I hear people talking about meth
I got some good ones.
and what they did. Like
Yeah, I used to work for the CIA when I
delusions.
was on meth. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The delusions are really funny to me.
Oh yeah.
People hiding under the fucking table all day, like someone's coming after me.
Yeah.
You know.
I was most of the time. I would jump into my iPhone and become a digital person, and I would hang out there, and that way I could do whatever I wanted.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
And you actually believed it.
Oh yeah.
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 I wonder what your family.
I was doing a lot of missions for for I was like, because I was like an unknown entity too, so like my directives came directly from the president, whoever was president at the time. I've worked for them all, starting with George Bush Jr.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck, I've never done that. I mean, I've been buzzed.
You've never worked for the
No, I
CIA?
never went that far, bro.
Really?
Well,
I mean, I took carpet off. Like I would take, my whole house was concrete. I ripped off all my carpet.
That was from crack though.
Yeah. And then
crack?
He was a crack.
See, I only tried crack once too.
Yeah,
But this is the thing. Like, it just wasn't part of my personality.
And
I didn't like crack either.
No.
So.
Oh, you didn't like crack? Okay.
No, I didn't like
It doesn't
crack.
last for long enough.
Yeah,
right?
it's too, no, yeah, like
Talk about a daily search for
that's the
like
grind.
search. Oh
That's
my
the
God.
grind. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I remember my oxy dealer was a crackhead,
Yeah.
and God, it was constant with that guy.
Constant.
and trying to find a
Jesus.
crackhead is hard, man.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have a home, most of the crackheads
No,
I
he
knew,
didn't.
they lost their homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have a home.
Yeah.
What a trip that guy
Yeah. It was
was.
crazy time.
Smoke that shit away,
Crazy
man.
time.
Shit, yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
Shane said he spent about $1 million
Yeah.
too on crack.
Yeah.
Not just on crack, but just on the lifestyle.
Hotels,
right?
cracked lifestyle. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 3 years.
3
My
years.
life. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Where'd you get all that money?
I worked.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive. That's
Saved.
cool. See,
Family has a good business.
so we have drive, you know?
Your story and my story, my family, just like you, divorce,
Yeah.
but never anything, like no reason.
Yeah.
Just sadness and depression added on.
Yeah. Yeah.
No reason really. Just never fit in.
Yeah. Yeah. The fitting in part,
Yeah.
which is something that's hard to find in sobriety. Right?
I still don't. But
I mean, that's why
okay
you
with
do
it.
what-
But you're okay with it. Yeah.
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 You- That's why you do weird shit like hump the wall and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, anything to get
Just
attention.
attention.
Anything.
It's all about connection.
Yeah.
Human to wall.
Yeah.
It is.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We just like being weirdos now, to be honest with you. I mean, like ever since that we started doing this podcast, I mean, I've always been kind of a weirdo anyways, but like now there's a camera on me and I'm being weird. And what's great is he's weird too. So.
Yeah, really weird.
What's this guy doing?
I don't know.
Is that a fridge?
Huh?
Is that a fridge he's taking? Oh,
That's
Chuck.
That's Chuck.
What's Chuck got?
Chuck's never been around when we were podcasting.
He brought something for us.
But he's the guy that designed this whole podcast room.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It is beautiful in
It
here,
is,
by the way.
yeah.
We just redid it, so you're like the third guest.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I like the art.
We
over
love
here.
we love the wall now, and I hate it. I hate brown. I like black and white.
Yeah.
So I was really like stoked when we got the table done.
Yeah.
Although Shane's just making a mess over there.
You noticed today I've kept my hands off the table.
Look at your messy ass.
Yeah, I've got
the-
really oily skin.
Yeah.
I'm really 73.
He's got really oily skin.
Really oily skin. It's really helping me in my life, though.
I can't really tell today though. It looks
that's
all
from
right.
From over here, man. The
table's
just
sharp.
I've kept
Really
my
sharp.
hands off the
Yeah,
table.
yeah, it looks great in here.
I'm gonna clean
And
it
you
after
notice
we-
it says "fuck fentanyl"
Yeah.
on the wall.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the Hopeaholics and
Yeah. Yeah, fentanyl's scary.
Yeah.
yeah, it really is scary, man.
Yeah, I feel because
Dude, you know what?
He had
You would have done fentanyl.
Yeah.
well, I have.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the stuff that I was doing at the end,
I was gonna say
was it was
laced.
it was laced. Yeah, it was, but I knew it was because the guy told me, which is nice, I guess.
I mean,
it was
it
an
is nice.
honest drug dealer, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. But he did tell me that this stuff had fentanyl in it, and it was heroin with fentanyl. That's what he said. And the shit was.
Did he tell you like how much to use? Because like people are dying. I mean, 300 people die every day from fentanyl.
Yeah. I first of all, it was. I could feel how powerful it was, obviously. But I knew what I was doing, like because I had been told. But the scary fucking thing is now it's in everything, which wasn't the case back when I was using. Right. And the unfortunate thing about sobriety is that when people, the relapse, it becomes so dangerous, but it's always dangerous, even for people that think that they're doing Xanax or prescription pills. This shit's laced with fentanyl now. It's so sad. But at least like I knew what I had was fentanyl. So I'd only do a little bit. And actually, one of my buddies that I took to go meet my dealer one time, I told him on the way up, I was like, hey, this stuff has this in it. Be careful about what you do. And sure enough, we did our first shot in my car and he OD'd and started turning blue, and I was able to get him to the hospital in time and saved his life. But that's scary shit, man. So I've seen it. I've been part of it, and it happens quick, And
it's just sad that like we all have to carry. I mean, you probably don't, but like we all have to carry Narcan around.
I want to carry some. I think, me and my wife have been talking about for sure, like getting some just to have.
That's not a bad idea. I should get some too.
I think everyone should have it, right? I mean, fuck, it's everywhere.
You're right.
I have it.
You're right.
I have it all over. I have it in my house. I have it, I don't know why I have it in my house, but I just have it in my house. You should have it in your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. But again, like I guess I was lucky that at the time that I was using it was right before that really took off.
Yeah.
But it's a much scarier world out there now for sure.
Yeah, there is no recreational drug use anymore.
It's
yeah,
very
and I don't know how people like fucking afford being a like drug addict anymore. Or it's like it blows my everything's so expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, meth is cheap though.
Meth is?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like,
no, it probably is. You're
I
right.
think it is.
Yeah. But
all we see primarily is fentanyl and meth. That's the drug of choice right now.
Fentanyl's much cheaper than anything else when it comes to opiates, so that makes sense. Yeah, scary.
So
really scary.
You got your master's. You became you got married.
Yeah.
You got a beautiful son.
Yeah.
What's next?
Man, God, I guess just being like, really all I'm focused on right now is just being a good father. My dad was a good father to me. I know that. And I don't know. I know that I'm passing things along to my son that are, you know, good and bad. If it is a genetic disease, then he's predisposed to it, right?
Yeah.
So figuring out how to be the most effective and loving father that I can be, having the right amount of honesty, you know, maybe not too much, but figuring out when to sprinkle in like, hey, this is what I went through and I don't want you to go through this.
Yeah.
But knowing that when it comes down to it, unless I'm going to, you know, lock him in his room all the time, like there's really nothing there's something, but there's at the same time, like nothing that I can do about it, which is also scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want him to live his life. And so figuring out the right balance of honesty and telling him what I have gone through in my life, and letting him live a free life and you know, free from substance and everything like that, hopefully. But just trying to figure out that, being a father and kind of today, like I would say work, you know, getting promoted and everything like that. But I've found that if I just live my life the way that I should and just, you know, present the value that I know I have every day, it's going to come. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not worried so much about that anymore. I don't necessarily need to make a lot of money and you know, so that's something that I work so I can have the freedom to hang out with my family and do the things I want to do, you know? Yeah. So I'd say mostly being a father is what's next.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
It's the fun part.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I got to have bring my son onto my men's basketball league.
Nice.
Because he plays basketball, and that was like a dream come true. You know, you hear like LeBron James say, I want to play one season in the NBA with my son.
Yeah.
I got to play in a men's league with my son for 3 seasons. We won a championship.
That's awesome.
And I got injured.
You did?
Oh yeah, man. I was too old.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. You play too, Shane?
Not anymore.
He was on our championship team now.
Oh yeah? And then
I'm more a hockey guy.
You went on top.
Yeah, we went out on top.
Yeah. Hockey.
Actually, you played our last season that he played, I
didn't play at all.
We got beat so bad.
I just paced back and forth behind the bench.
Oh, really?
I changed. I dressed for every game.
Okay.
But I got injured just pacing. pulled a groin, just pacing back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tried to kick a water bottle all the way.
So if you're not on skates, it's
no. If I'm fucking
can't even do that.
Can't even do that. I pulled it back out when I was like 45. That was it.
Oh, okay.
You get to 55 times, you got to change.
No, you're 55 yet.
56.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's the first time you said that on the podcast.
I figured, what the hell?
Get over it.
Yeah.
Stop being.
Well, for right now, I'm feeling confident, you know. But maybe who knows what tomorrow brings? I'll be back to 35.
Yeah.
You know.
He usually says 38.
Adapt.
Yeah. I usually go just under 40.
Yeah.
Just under
good.
40.
Good way to go.
Yeah. You know.
Well, I mean, maybe you could do a hockey league. I don't know.
No.
Why not?
No. Just it's over.
Roller hockey.
Over.
No, it's over.
For him, it's
Why
just
not?
I'm into cold plunge, sauna.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You go to the gym every day.
I go to the gym
right?
every fucking day.
Well, so you can be a better athlete, right?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe
Can't
we can
stop.
do it. If you want to do a hockey thing,
I don't want to.
You don't? Okay.
No.
That's cool.
No, I don't have
That's
no
cool.
interest at all. You know how it is when your brain says you could do stuff, but the body takes like 5 minutes to catch up?
Yeah.
Well, that's where I'm at.
I mean, it does suck because
It
my
sucks.
brain tells me all the time I can do something.
Yeah.
You know what never changes? The fact that you're 20, you're in the prime of your life
In your
right
brain.
here.
Yes, exactly.
Right here.
Yeah.
Like I actually might even be better here.
Yes.
And my brain's and I'm more, I got this harder drive, but then I go and I'll throw on some like David Goggins, right? And I'm
Fucking
just
hurt
like,
yourself.
fucking yeah.
Yeah.
One more rep.
Yeah, no good.
One more mile on the treadmill.
Yeah. I got the logs. I got the boats.
and then fucking bam. Just like
Boom.
you're just like, oh.
You wake up in the fucking emergency room.
Yep, and then you're out for like
I do think that's good though, man. I do. I think that's a good way to live.
That's how I
we
live.
live.
Yeah. I think that's.
And then I come
like
and then I
that.
come on the podcast and I'm like, I gotta have some balance at the gym so I can keep going.
Right.
Well, that so I do that, and then I'm fully healed, like I am right now.
Yeah.
I'm fully healed.
Yeah.
And I am going ham again.
Good for you.
Like,
Good for you.
Ham.
No, I'm happy about that. You know, I am.
And we will see how long this ham goes.
Well, we're stubborn, you know.
Yeah, we're stubborn.
Well, I shouldn't speak for you guys. I am stubborn.
Oh, I'm stubborn.
We are all stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
I just need to stop lying to myself, though, and telling myself that balance is okay.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
There's no balance in my life.
No, there never will be.
Not at the gym.
No.
But that's what makes you who you are, you know. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, damn, man, that was, we went pretty
$1.40.
long.
I think it's $1.40.
Yeah. That was fun, dude.
Sorry if we went too long.
No, we're good.
It's
We
never
like-
too long.
I like talking about it, man.
Yeah, no.
Got to get the message out there.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping that there was, you know, somebody listening out there that, you know, is having that same hopeless feeling.
There always is,
know?
man. Our Instagram is what's blowing up.
Yeah.
Good.
People comment. I get so much messages on the Instagram, and I go in and I just like reply to all of them and continue to encourage them. Like there's people that, you know, didn't drink this weekend.
Yeah.
Because they listened to our podcast.
That's some cool shit.
And we offered some hope to people.
It's all, and you know, one of the things from what I know about my experience, it just took one moment of clarity, one moment, and that moment probably only lasted for 30 seconds. But in that time, I called my dad. You know, I did something, one thing to take action. That's all it takes. You know, and it changed my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
Now I'm married. I got a kid. I got a good job.
You know who you would have never married if you wouldn't have got clean?
Wow, hey, I
can
just
you
had
imagine?
a thing. You could put up a picture of his master's, picture of Bailey. Here's what you can attain at sobriety. Hey?
For real.
She's holding up his master's degree. That's cool
I
stuff,
can guarantee
man.
you, my wife would have never married me.
Never.
In a million years.
Never.
If she would have met the guy that was still sticking needles in his arm.
Yeah.
My wife would be like...
And why? Like, I wouldn't have wanted such a good person to marry such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't have to talk about that.
No.
Like about myself that way anymore. You know,
Right.
because
you're a good person.
because people can change. Just because you were a piece of shit at one time doesn't make you a piece of shit for your whole life. You know,
Right.
I've done shitty things,
Yeah.
but I'm not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good shit, man. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
That was fun.